Welcome to Tibara's Den. My name is Whitney and welcome to another CAS video. Today we are doing the final two sims for the second house of Aries, and these are actually the final two sims of the Aries zodiac in general. So if you haven't seen the previous videos, we are doing our zodiac series, and this month of course is Aries. And so the first week we created Aries and their Chinese zodiac twin of the dragon along with their build, and then we started working on our primal zodiac signs, which were combining the Aries zodiac with the different Chinese zodiac, so each different Chinese zodiac in combination with the sign of Aries. And so that's what we've been doing. I will leave a playlist for the videos that we've already done linked in the description below, as well as at the end of this video, so definitely check those out. I definitely explain a lot more, and all the information, the websites that I got my information from, are also linked down below, so definitely check that out, especially if you are interested in learning more about primal zodiacs, which, like I said, do combine the Western zodiac sign with the Chinese zodiac as well. So today though we are working on llama right here. So I named him Lakin, and that means successful, achiever, or distinguished. And I'm just going to go ahead and read the little description of llamas from the Primal Zodiac website. This combines the sign of Aries with the Chinese zodiac year of the rabbit. So it says, despite appearing quiet and easygoing, those born under the sign of the llama are actually powerful, capable, and determined individuals. Llamas have no problems going with the flow as long as it works for them, but don't even think about getting in their way if they want to make a change. These are people that slowly and steadily move toward their goals, as if oblivious to any obstacles in the way. Of course, they see every obstacle and may even suffer through anxiety and uncertainty along the way, but from the outside you would never know it. Inside there may be a whirlwind of thoughts and feelings, but nothing defines a llama better than having a cool and calm exterior. This is a sign that is always surprising you. They have unique ways of seeing the world and often have big dreams to go along with their unique perspectives. It is as if they were born to make their vision of life turn into a reality. They always seem to come up with ideas that others at first find strange, but realize later they are actually quite brilliant. Even if nobody else understands their point of view, llamas have good instincts and know which ideas to defend and when to fight for them. Llamas are lucky in that many of their seemingly conflicting characteristics tend to balance out well together. They can appear relaxed while anxious, confident while insecure, carefree while focused, and delicate while strong. Sure, they can have occasional outbursts of frustration and indignation, just as their animal namesakes has been known to spit in the faces of others when they are behaving in a way the llama doesn't like. But these are rarely seen by others. This only adds to their natural ability to intrigue others without having to appear moody or mysterious. And then, of course, as always, it goes on to talk about the different careers that suit llamas. A couple things that stood out to me are they are meant to communicate their ideas to the world. They secretly like attention, but will never admit it. And they have a unique form of expression. Some famous llamas are Brendan Urie, Brooklyn Decker, Joss Stone, Jesse McCartney, Zach Raff, Stacey Ferguson, Conan O'Brien, Quentin Tarantino, David Frost, Marvin Gaye, Billie Holiday, Wilbur Wright, and Washington Irving. So those are all famous llamas. And so what I decided to do for Lock-in here is make him a style influencer and then do the branch of the trendsetter. So that's going to be his career. His aspiration is best-selling author. And then traits are creative, genius, and proper, since they tend to have, unique ideas and things like that. I thought those were kind of good traits. And then proper because, llamas will spit in the face of those if they don't like how they're behaving. So I thought that was another one that fit well with the llama as well. And I like the idea of best-selling author, like maybe, he's obviously clearly into fashion, so maybe he does a book on it, like different photos and things like that. So that's kind of what I was going with. For his outfits, I used a lot of like gray and blue tones with patterns though. I was trying to combine like the creative aspect and being a trendsetter with also the cool, calm exterior that goes along with the llama. So I didn't see him wearing like a lot of bold colors or anything like that, because I think that was kind of contradicting, having a cool and calm exterior. And so that's kind of why I went with more like blues and gray colors, because that just makes me think of cool and calm, I guess. But there is also a lot of patterns, and I try to be unique in some of the outfits, which is kind of hard for me when it comes to my male Sims, especially. But I like how he turned out. I really like his outfits, and he's actually in a relationship with our goldfinch from I think the first video that we did in the house 2 of the Aries. And so they are in a relationship, which if you take any stock into like the zodiac signs and compatibility and stuff, they wouldn't necessarily be compatible. It didn't say they were absolutely not compatible, but I looked both for the Chinese zodiac. I did the rabbit and compatibility with the rooster to see what it had to say about that, and then I also did Aries with Aries compatibility, and it just said they might have like conflict in their relationship, but just something that they would have to work through. And I like the idea they're both kind of really into fashion, and so that's something they really have in common as well. So that's kind of what I was going for overall with this character. And so when I was doing their build, which you guys will see this Friday, they actually share a room and everything like that. So I really had to combine the two different styles and things like that. And for the build, I did go with the color scheme based on the lucky colors underneath the Chinese zodiac, and so it was kind of hard to combine their different colors because they had completely different lucky colors. But it's still, I really like how their room turned out and things like that. But yeah, you can see he has a pretty fashionable style, I would say. Definitely not like grungy or casual or anything like that. He's a very well dressed sim. And for his workout outfit here, I actually like that there was this llama jacket, and I cannot pass it up since he is a llama. And so I went with that for his workout outfit, and then matching shorts, and I actually matched the shoes as well. So it's all very put together and looks good, even though the colors are a little bit brighter than his other outfits and kind of what I was going for. Like I said, I couldn't pass up the llama jacket, and so I made it work underneath that as well. And then for his bedtime wear, even it's a little bit fashionable. He has the layers, he has the long sleeve layered underneath the shirt, and then I tried to do like a little bit different. So even though they're pajama pants, they're a little bit different. So I went with these pants here, so they're shorter, and then there's pockets and things like that on them as well. And you might have noticed I also gave him like earrings for a lot of his look, and some rings and like watches and things. Like I again see him as being a sim that does like to accessorize as well, which I also did for my goldfinch sim. I think just being into fashion and things like that, like to me fashion also equals like accessories, and sometimes the accessories make the look. I'm not fashionable by any means, but that's just what I think of when I think of fashion. And so here's his party look. I actually go with this shirt here, and I did struggle a little bit finding pants that I wanted to go with it. And I actually think for this look, I used the same pants I gave our dodo last week, And I didn't realize that at first, but I actually kind of like it, because they are members of the same household. And the dodo, I made a food critic, and he travels around the world and probably gets bits and pieces. So I could see him bringing back things for his housemates when he travels. And so that's probably a piece, he got one for himself, and then he also gave one um, to lock in here, however you pronounce his name. I'm probably mispronouncing it, and I do apologize. I'm not good with pronunciation in general, let alone, new names and things like that that I've never heard before or anything like that. So these are the pants, like I said, and it does have that beaded piece, but I think, like, like I said, they're housemates, and I can see them maybe being friends, and so the dodo, got one for himself and brought one back for lock in here. So that's kind of why I'm okay with it, even though, and we're limited in the Sims too. Like, there's only so many pieces. I do have quite a bit of custom content pieces now, but there's still only so many pieces that's available to use, and so there's going to be some overlap. I try to avoid it, especially these guys being in the same household, but like I said, for the storyline, it still works. Like, something he could have been gifted, so I'm completely fine with it as well. And then for his swimwear, again, a little bit brighter than normal. I almost went with these ones, the pattern here, but I thought these ones seemed more, like a fashion piece, like somebody put together, than just a casual swimsuit. So that's why I ended up going with them. And they do have a lot of blues. It's just with the red and the different pattern, it is a little bit brighter than some of his other looks, but I still think it works nicely for his overall personality. So definitely let me know what you think as well. But yeah, he's pretty cool. And then of course some sunglasses, has to have that shades, and I just gave him, a little earpiece there. And then for his hot weather look, I really struggled here, and I went through many tops and many looks here, which you are going to see, and trying to find the right earring that went along with it. And there's several tops that I think could have really worked nicely. Some of these pattern button-ups and things like that. But in the end, I did go a little bit more casual for this look. I decided to go with a patterned t-shirt instead of any of these button tops, and found an earring that worked well with that. It's the triangle earring, and I just did it like in a gray color, which worked better than this feather earring, which just did not look good with anything. So this is the earring I go with. I start here with blue because I still hadn't settled on a top yet, and I was leaning more towards the blue top. But like I said, once I do find the top I decided on, I change that earring to gray, and that way it matches a little bit better. Almost went with this top here, put on some shorts and things like that. Decided I didn't like that top. Like, so this look was probably the hardest for me for some reason. I just really, really struggled with it. And I like these pants here. Just something a little different. Like I said, they do kind of have a unique perspective and things like that. And so I like the idea of having, kind of a different style of pants as well. And so then this is where I go back and try to find a shirt, and then I found this shirt, and then I decided I didn't like the pants anymore because I really like this shirt. And so I finally settle on these shorts here, kind of play around with the colors a little bit, or a similar short. I guess I changed them, but they're similar to the first shorts I had. But yeah, I just played around with the color, but that's where I finally decided to settle, because it was a mess though. Like, that look was definitely the one I struggled with the most, but I still think he turned out pretty cool regardless, and I do like it. Like I said, a little bit more casual than what I was working with before, but still kind of fits with his overall aesthetic. And this jacket I knew I wanted to use here for his cold weather look. I had actually seen it when I was doing, I think, my Dodo sim. I almost went with it for him, because I like the pattern, but I really do like it for this sim, and so I'm glad I did something different for my Dodo sim, instead of using this jacket, because I think this jacket is very fashionable, and then it has the turtleneck and everything like that, and so I think it goes well for this sim. And yeah, that's his look. Of course, he has the earring again and his little ring. And then I do give him a hat for this look as well. I try not to give him hats for a lot of his looks just because I like his hair. It reminds me of a llama. You kind of want to squish your fingers in it. So that's why I went with that hairstyle. They always have that little poof on top of their head sometimes. Not always, but a lot of the time. And so that's why I went with that. So anyway, that is my llama. And now we are on to my rhinoceros, which combines the sign of Aries with the zodiac year of the tiger. And so her name is Reese because it means an intense and fiery person. So if your name is Reese, I know that's one is kind of a more common name than some of the other names I've been using. But if your name is Reese, don't take any offense. I'm not calling you a rhino. It's just I like the description as an intense and fiery person. I thought that was perfect for a rhino. And the Primal Zodiac for this says, how do you stop a charging rhinoceros? You don't. You run like heck and don't look back. People born under the sign of the rhinoceros are strong, determined, aggressive, and never back down from a challenge. Though this impetuous occasionally gets them into trouble, members of the sign usually come out of battle victorious. They are both brave and lucky, as if blessed somehow by fate to constantly fight and constantly win. For better or for worse, this is probably the most fearless sign in the Primal Zodiac, which fits perfectly with their desire for action and love of adventure. Not conformist by nature, they would probably run off and live in the wild if it didn't mean they would be alone most of the time. Despite their aggressive nature, rhinos crave social interaction, especially when it involves them telling stories of their great adventure to anyone who will listen. Rhinoceros love to take risks. They are as confident as any other sign and believe fully that fully lived life can only be achieved by taking chances. Not surprisingly, this is a sign of the professional stunt man or stunt woman. Dangerous, exciting, and deadly and practical. This is a perfect job for the risk-taking sign. Many rhinos also join the military for similar reasons: travel, adventure, action, and risk. And then, of course, it goes on to talk about different options for careers. Some famous rhinos are Ellie Fanning, Leighton Meister, Amanda Bynes, Lady Gaga, Scott Eastwood, Victoria Beckham, Allison Hannigan, MC Hammer, Marcia Cross, Mark the Undertaker Calloway, Matthew Broderick, Rosie O'Donnell, David Cassidy, Martin Short, Hugh Hefner, Butch Cassidy, and William Harvey were all famous rhinoceroses. So for her, I actually decided to go with the secret agent career, with the branch, the diamond agent. I thought that would be a fun career and kind of, different. And I also gave her the extreme sports enthusiast, which has the bonus trait of survival instinct. And then the traits I gave her were adventurous, hot-headed, and outgoing. So she was a lot of fun to create. And I actually forgot to mention, I had actually already created these guys. And when I went to go do their build, it hadn't saved them for some reason. And I don't know if that was my fault because I had already stopped the recording. Like, I had the full recording and everything, but I had already stopped it before I finished saving, and which I do a lot of times after I finish them. I'll stop the recording and then go in and do whatever I need to do. And with these guys, I had to create them on a different lot and then move them into the household. So I had done that, but like I said, it didn't save for whatever reason. So this is my second time creating both of these guys, which was a little bit frustrating. And so a lot of their looks were very similar to what I went with in the beginning, but I also changed things up because I couldn't remember exactly what I did before. But that was really, really frustrating. So like I said, this is the second time I'm creating her. So like her hairstyle is exactly the same as I used the first time. I like this hairstyle because I was trying to go for a hairstyle that was kind of tall off the head, that kind of reminded me of a rhinoceros's horn. And I think this hairstyle works well for that. And then, of course, I did it in like the grayish color. to kind of match a rhino as well. But yeah, she's a lot of fun. I really enjoyed her. I don't know, again, who's my favorite is, but I definitely think she would be a top contender, especially for this house in particular. Like, I really like her, but again, I like them all, like, in different ways. But I think she's pretty cool herself. So, but yeah, this is who we're working with. And so I kind of went, I don't know what you would call her style. Like, in some ways, it's kind of straightforward and kind of professional looking, and then other ways, it's more ready for like adventure to go. And then there's also kind of a feminine aspect to it as well. So, I like this jacket a lot, though. I like the idea of her having, her favorite jacket, like that she puts on when she's out in the field, trying to make business deals and things like that. And so that's kind of why I went with this jacket here. And then, of course, the pants are a custom content piece. And I just like the way they looked with everything, and then some boots. And I do think she definitely utilizes makeup and jewelry somewhat, but at the same time, she kind of has to be practical. She can't go over the top, especially when she's like working and things like that. So that's her everyday look. For her formal look, I went a little bit more flashy. I actually had a custom content dress that's very sparkly, and I really liked it on her. So I tried some different options, but in the end, I kept coming back to this dress just because I really, really liked the way it looked. And there were some other contenders that could have worked nicely. But I don't know. This is the dress I'm talking about here. I just really liked how it looked, and the little diamonds and such. So maybe for more extravagant deals and such and parties, this is a dress she would wear and go into the party and try to seal a deal with some big shot or something like that. I don't really know what diamond agents do, but that's kind of what I'm picturing in my mind. So that's what I went with for that. And like I said, you can see I'm trying on many different outfits as well, and I just come back to this one. And then the shoes were kind of a little bit more difficult to match, but I think I used these shoes here. I might have switched to another custom content shoe, these ones. I can't remember now if I kept those ones or I go back to the original. But apparently I kept these ones. Like, I forget what I do in the after recording, and in between editing and such. But I really think the first shoes would have worked, but they had a lot of detail, and she already has a lot of detail in the dress. So I do think these shoes work a little bit better. And then, of course, some earrings to go along with it. And I was trying to incorporate, I don't know, like the diamonds and such, but also not too much. So since her dress, again, has a lot of detail and maybe has like some diamonds in the dress itself, I went with these earrings here, which I think worked well with the outfit. And then her eye makeup, kind of more of a smoky dark look to go with the gray and the black in her overall outfit. I didn't want anything that was too much or clashed with everything. And then kind of a darker lip that kind of blends in with her overall skin tone and such, so it almost looks like she's not wearing makeup or lipstick at all. And then this is her workout outfit, and I went pretty straightforward here. I definitely, with her line of work, she would definitely need to be fit and be able to defend herself. And so I went pretty standard workout, like she takes workout seriously. So I went with this top here, and then some leggings and some good shoes. And you'll see she has her little workout area, her little sparring bot and things like that. But definitely something that's important in her profession. Like I said, she would need to be able to defend herself and keep herself safe. And so no earrings, no makeup, or anything like that, which, like I said in the past, I generally try not to do for my Sims workout look or swimwear look or bedtime look. But some of the Sims, I just get the impression they don't take working out or swimming as seriously, and so I'll give them a makeup look for their looks, or if they're kind of seductive in the bedroom, I'll put on a little bit of makeup for the bedroom. I know there's women out there who will not let men see them without a face of makeup, so they'll get up extra early or things like that. Well, I don't know that there's women out there, but it's been portrayed that there's women out there like that. So, but yeah, so that's kind of, something I do on occasion, but for this sim in particular, I knew, you know, that didn't fit for her. So, but now we are on to her party look. Kind of went more businessy with her. Like if she's going to parties, she might be closing some deals, things like that. So I did this top here. I like the detailing across the bust there, and then the jacket was a nice touch as well. A little bit more party-ish since it is cropped and it does show her stomach off. And then I do like a shorter skirt with it, not this one here. I end up going with a different one. I do try on several skirts to see what I like, and the skirt I ended up going with is actually quite similar to the first skirt that I had tried on with this look. I think it's the skirt here actually. So, and then I debated a little bit between white and black. I think I ended up going with this black skirt here. And then the shoes again were kind of a struggle trying to decide what I want to use, but I got, in this essence, it's more of a business type thing than like her formal look. And so in the end, I went with a more classic heel, this one right here, which just gave off more business vibes. So it was kind of a balance because, obviously she has the shorter skirt and then the crop top, but it's also a little bit more straightforward. And then I like the idea of, at a party, she's definitely trying to close a deal, and so having some diamonds on her wrist. And I almost went with a ring, and then in the end, I decided it was just a little bit too much. So I just stick with the one bracelet on her wrist, and I actually take off that ring just because, like I said, I thought it was a little bit too much. In general, like a little touch of diamonds, but not over the top by any means. And then of course her ears, I do give her diamonds as well, in those hoops. So, but yeah, she's, like I said, it's hard when I don't really know what the career is necessarily, to try to get a clear picture. So I kind of just do the best I can with what I think it is. But either way, I still think she's really cool, and I have really been enjoying this series because it does give me some fresh inspiration, not only for like the different personalities that I'm working with, and I like that I'm giving them careers and such before I even create them, just based on like their personality and such, because it really does help give me inspiration for how I'm creating them as well. So that's been a lot of fun, and I think I've created a lot of Sims here in this batch that I would have never probably done in a million years, which is pretty cool. So now we are on to her swimwear. Again, kind of struggled with this, I'm not gonna lie. I didn't really know which route I wanted to take for this. And so in the end, I kept it pretty simple, but I kind of give her a top that covers a little bit more. Like it's the, I don't know how to describe it. You guys will see it here in a second. The one that's tied there in the left corner, this one here, I actually end up going with that one. And then these bottoms here, which, kind of jumped around, but again, I didn't want anything too flimsy in case she needed to jump into action. So I did want it to kind of show off her body, but at the same time be a little bit more secure. And so if she did need to jump into action while she's, on the beach or anything like that, like she's ready to go. So that's kind of why I went with this top instead of the other one. And then of course some glasses, kind of keep those eyes hidden as she's scouting around for whatever she's scouting around for. I don't know. But yeah, that's her swimwear. And then her hot weather wear, I actually went a little bit more casual and more like ready to go, like not businessy and not necessarily athletic, but like hiking through the jungle type vibe, if that makes sense. So very, very functional and more laid back. Like I could see her, you know, going to find a diamond mine, in some jungle or something like that. That's kind of what I was going for this look. So it's not quite the same vein as what I've been doing, a little bit more professional and ladylike and kind of along that vein. It's like I said, more ready to go hiking through the jungle and get dirty essentially. So that's kind of what I was going for. So I actually stick with this top here, and then I give her like some capri jeans, and so I think they look the best with this top. It was kind of hard finding something that looked good with this top. Like it's kind of an awkward top, and I knew I didn't want like jeans because it's summertime, and then I give her some shoes instead of like sandals or anything like that. I don't do boots or anything, but I do give her like shoes to kind of protect her feet a little bit. So that's kind of what we're working with here. I did manage to find earrings that matched the top pretty well, and so they look pretty good with what we're working with here. But yeah, this is a fun look too. I think it's a little bit different than some of her other looks, but still works nicely for this sim. And so yeah, that's kind of what we're working with. I use these earrings here. I think again, not too fancy, but does have enough detail for the sim and this kind of personality we're creating. And I can see, her, sitting around, telling about the time she was deep in the Amazon jungle and fighting off snakes and leopards or panthers or whatever they have down there, um, to get the diamonds or whatever the case may be like. And this is that look for that function. And then of course I did give her some makeup as well, even though probably doesn't really fit for this look and what I was going for. But maybe this is the first day, so she's pretty put together. She still has her makeup and such before they really get into it. And of course she doesn't have access to makeup. But it's fictional as well, so there is that. And then this is her cold weather look, so the final look here. And this one, I did struggle a little bit, not too much. Like, I was able to find what I thought worked, but it was a little bit of struggle. I tried on different aspects, and this is actually what I ended up going with. I'm pretty sure I used this when I created her the first time, but I did like it. It has a tank top, and I see her wearing layers, especially, if she does need to sprint and, jump into action at a moment's notice. It'd be nice to be able to strip off that jacket and just have the tank top off underneath. And so that's kind of why I went with this top here. I thought it worked nicely, and it kind of went with her overall aesthetic from some of her other looks as well. The hardest part again was trying to find pants that worked with this. Some of them were a little bit too high, some of them were too low, and in the end, these custom content pants here, I thought looked really nice with this jacket. It was the perfect height, and then it had the belt, and it just looked really, really good, I think. And then of course some boots here. I do think, no, I don't give her gloves, I just give her some nails. I was like, I think maybe I give her gloves, but nope, not the case. So, and now of course we are on to some earrings, and so I do these earrings here. I like the dangly earrings. I just think they look really good on her, and they kind of go with her different outfits. So you can see I've used different dangly earrings in a lot of her looks, but that's what I went with here. And then just finding an eyeshadow that worked for this look, and I was actually kind of trying to match it to the tank top itself so I could do a little bit of color. And I used this one here, and it looked a little bit odd until I added the eyeliner to tie into the eyeliner that goes over the top of the eyelid there. But yeah, those are her looks. I think she turned out pretty cool. Let me know what you think of her. Let me know if you're a rhinoceros. Again, it combines Aries with the Chinese zodiac year of the tiger. I'm going to go ahead and leave you guys here. I do go into both households just to kind of refresh you guys on the different sims we created. So this is the household number 2 that these guys just entered, and then I go over house 1 as well. Let me know what you guys think of all these Aries sims, and whether you think I did a good job on capturing their essence or not. And I'm going to go ahead and leave you here. Remember to check back on Friday for the second house build, and we will see you then. Have a great week, guys. Bye.